Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Got the glasses on because I want to read something to you. Today's video is going to be called Recovery from Fear. All right? Super important video today. Super important. So if you would, relax your body, breathe. It's a message of safety. Breathe in the trust, exhale the doubt and the fear. Breathe in the clarity, exhale the uncertainty. So, all right, I want to just share this with you. There was a comment on YouTube, I think from this morning, and this is what they wrote. So it says, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me with my recovery. And to clarify, I didn't recover from the pain and symptoms I had all over my body. I fully recovered from the fear of them, and they all faded away. Let that sink in. She recovered from the fear, and all the symptoms faded away. Further, she says, I was surprised by how long it took me, about 3 months. So I'll advise everyone to be patient. It takes some time. Catch your fearful thoughts and don't buy into them. And please stop this madness with self-pitying. I see a lot of that in the comments. All it does is further isolate you. I overcame all and every single one of my symptoms, I don't know, probably around 10 to 15 at some point, by making a very conscious decision. I was done being afraid. That is the only thing that needs fixing. Your relationship with fear. She says she'd like to do a success story, but she's not a native speaker. Besides, I don't really have anything to add to what Dan is teaching in his everyday videos. Thanks again. So what are the key points here? We don't have to fix the symptoms. We don't have to recover from the symptoms. We have to recover from the fear of the symptoms, and the symptoms take care of themselves. She made a very conscious decision that she was done being afraid. That's it. Catch your fearful thoughts and don't buy into them. So that is case in point to somebody who was able to really extract the core basis of everything I teach her on a daily basis, which is it's not the body, it's not the brain, it's the fear. And what does that fit in with? Perceived danger symptoms. That's what's going on. So without the fear, there's no perceived danger, which means over time the brain eventually goes, there is no danger because they're not afraid. And the symptoms can fade away on their own. So for anybody who really gets caught up in the fear, I'll say why. Your brain's creating it because you're afraid. Now, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying any of this is your fault. Most of it happens in the beginning without our conscious awareness. Somehow the brain perceives some type of danger, and it turns on symptoms as a warning. And so, once we know what this TMS, mind-body, perceived danger symptoms are, we do need to make a decision. A really important decision, probably the most important decision in this entire recovery journey, that is, I am no longer going to be afraid. And once we can bring the fear down, symptoms take care of themselves. You know? So how do we bring down the fear? Accurate knowledge. Knowing. Get it from the intellectual concept of, well, TMS means I'm not broken, to really, darn it, I'm not broken. So I'm not going to be afraid anymore. It doesn't matter how much I hurt, but I'm afraid of the pain itself. Right. But when you feed the perceived danger, pain, or symptoms with more fear, you're feeding the process. You really are. It's like saying, I want to get rid of all these stray cats, so I'm going to keep on feeding them. every day, every day, every day. You're going to get more and more stray cats, right? And for any cat lovers, I love cats. You know I have Finn. I'm not saying, be mean to stray cats. My point is, the more you feed stray cats, the more of them they're going to show up at your back door. The more you feed your symptoms with fear and attention and worry and despair, the more likely they are to stick around. So it's all about the fear. We don't have to recover from TMS. TMS, perceived danger pain. This is a description of what's going on. The real problem is the fear. It's the perceived danger. And when we can address that core issue with the fact that we're not really broken, we're just afraid we are. We think we are. We've been told we are. We've been given medical labels that say we are. Dial down the fear. Interestingly enough, Dr. Hanscom, who is one of the well-known TMS physicians, actually used to be a back surgeon who is now running his TMS coaching practice. And he posted a comment, I think it was today, so if you look him up, either My DOC Journey or Dr. Hanscom on Facebook, you may see this post. But what he suggested in his post is, he said this, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the exact phrase, I didn't print it. He says, I'm becoming more and more convinced that we can wire our brain around the pain regardless of the source. And I think in his post he was speaking about somebody with like 28 surgeries and all sorts of craziness and lots and lots and lots of issues. Medication, surgeries, lots and lots of issues. And this person's pain-free for the past 5 years. Which is leading Dr. Hanscom, and I agree, that regardless of the source, I believe that we can teach our brain to not use these pain pathways anymore and to create a bypass around them, right? People say, oh, my neural pathways are well-worn, really grooved, so it's going to take a long wire to rewire them. No. With the right information, the right belief system, the right consistency, the right message that I'm not broken, the brain can decide not to use those well-worn pathways. And I don't even know if there's such a thing as well-worn pathway in the brain. Like, we don't have to get into the scientific stuff. But if you've even had a moment of pain-free time, the brain knows how not to use the pain signals. When the brain feels safe, turns them off. And it could be as simple as when you lay down, your pain goes away. Okay, the brain knows I'm going to use this pathway around that does not include pain when I feel safe, and I feel safe laying down. The goal here is to teach the brain that I'm safe doing whatever the heck I want. And I'm not saying go parachuting or bungee jumping or any of that. I am just saying normal life activities, exercise, fitness, weightlifting, whatever you want to do is safe. I'm able to do all of that stuff despite 13 years of back pain. Why? I was never broken. It was always TMS. It was always perceived danger. So the best way to recover from whatever symptoms you've got going on, even if it's digestive, which is caused, in my opinion, by the suppression of the digestion because of the stress response, regardless of what it is, we don't have to fix our gut. We don't have to fix our digestive issues. We don't have to fix our autoimmune issues. We have to recover from fear. And that comes from two things: accurate information and a decision not to be afraid. I'm no longer going to be afraid. You can decide that. And every time your brain goes, but, what if? You can go, shh, we know what's going on. My body's fine. My brain's just scared. I'm choosing not to be scared. And just stick with that. Stick with that over and over again. When your brain really gets the message that you're not scared, they're not thinking, acting, and behaving like they're scared, so they must not be scared, so there must not be a problem, therefore we're safe, which means I can start to turn off these symptoms. Because all the symptoms is a warning signal that the brain thinks something bad is going on. And when you consistently show up as if you're not concerned, the brain does this and things fade away. We don't have to recover from TMS. We don't have to recover from perceived danger pain. We don't have to recover from all the various symptoms in our body. We don't have to reprogram our brain, regulate our nervous system, do amygdala retraining. We don't have to do limbic system rebalancing. We don't have to do any of that stuff. It can all stem from a decision to no longer be afraid of these symptoms, which are just a warning. It's a false alarm. The smoke detector is screaming, but there's no fire. So it's really a matter of recovering from the fear. And it'll take a little bit of time, especially if you've been in a panic and freaked out about symptoms for a long time. It'll take a little while if you are filled with words from what your doctor said. You've got this, this, and this wrong with you. And it makes sense based on the imaging that your symptoms behave this way. Okay. But again, regardless of the source, Dr. Hanscom is seeing evidence that we can still teach the brain not to create pain in that location or anywhere in the body. So I hope this makes sense to everybody. When I saw this comment, I was really excited at the reframing of this recovery process. For a long time I've been thinking, we're recovering from TMS. And don't get me wrong, the things I've been teaching fit perfectly well with what this person shared. But I really like the reframing that we're not recovering from TMS. We're not recovering from perceived danger, pain, or symptoms. Truly, we're recovering from fear. Write that one down. I am recovering from fear. That is my sole purpose, task, assignment. I am recovering from fear. And if people say, how'd you get better? I got over the fear. Symptoms took care of themselves. So let me know, comment below, let me know what you think of this. I thought it was a brilliant reframing of what the recovery process really entails. And let me know what you think. This is beautiful. I love it. Hope you do too. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, folks. Love you.